Okay.
Everyone is here. Broadcasting the Breakdown Podcast live on June 15th, 2018. E3's just wrapped up. My name is Brandon Miracle, broadcasting live from the Break Room Arcade. If you look south of me in the video version, you'll see the beautiful face of Paul Anderson broadcasting live from the Break Room Clubhouse. And if you look to the right of me in the video version, you'll see the beautiful face of Logan Welliver broadcasting live from the Break Room Hotel Room. This is the second time I started this episode because I forgot to hit start streaming before I started the show.
Classic.
So here we are with the Breakdown Podcast. We got a lot to talk about. Nintendo just wrapped up their E3 2018, announcing cool games like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and the sleeper hit Super Mario Party. I'm very excited about those.
Super Mario Party.
So our first version of the podcast, Logan, you were starting to talk about you being excited about Super Mario Party. Why don't you go over that again?
I have a few things I want to say. One, that's just how it goes.
You cut out all of that.
I'm actually disappointed that I don't. I have a feeling we're never gonna get Mario Party 11.
The greatest thing about that, Logan, is that you cut out during the beginning of your rant.
And they missed the perfect opportunity to make Super Mario Party right Joy-Con and left Joy-Con.
You missed an
Instead,
even more
they were like, oh no, it could be 11, and then.
What about Amiibo Festival 2? What about Amiibo Festival 2, man?
I'm going to cancel both of you, and I'm going to just do the podcast alone from now on.
Oh,
You'll probably forget to start streaming.
How do we cancel the stream? Can we cancel the stream?
I'm going to cancel the internet.
Okay.
So,
but yeah, I'm super excited about Super Mario Party. It looks great.
It's the first Mario Party game that I've ever pre-ordered, or just bought in general. It'll be the first Mario Party game I own.
Okay.
It's definitely a callback to classic Mario Party. Coins and stars and boards, and we're all moving separately. That's the name of the game.
We have a video about that, and I hate you both still.
Hate us both. Oh yeah, we did do that.
Watch Mario Party on our channel. It'll make more sense.
Yeah, nobody did. So if you want to watch it, that'd be great. Do we have a podcast? Guys, I'm
Smash
tired.
Brothers get announced to the Nintendo Switch?
I'm so happy they ditched the car. Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate the car as much as other people, but specifically Mario Party 9 because that was a one game. They tried it. I was like, maybe this didn't work, but I'm okay with it. Mini games are great.
They brought it back for 10.
And then when they did it again, that's when I was upset. Mario Party 11, I just want to call it 11. Super Mario Party just had online announced officially yesterday.
Just mini games, though.
So far, they've only announced mini games and leaderboards. I have a feeling that's probably all it's going to be in the end.
Yeah, I was about to say so far. No, that's it.
It's a fun enough experience when you're in a room with people. I think part of that would get lost online.
Yeah,
I'm sure you could make it work a little bit, but it still wouldn't be the same.
I think you lose more by only doing the mini games, though. We saw with Mario Party, the top 100, that the mini games don't stand on their own. I'm not so sure how well this is going to play out, and if it doesn't, maybe boards can come as a free DLC update in the future. Nintendo's really been big on that. Notice that they also didn't announce who the developer of this game was.
I imagine that it's ND Cube.
Yeah, the thing though that strikes me as odd is the last 4 Mario Party games have used all of the same assets, and for once they're not.
Well, it's also HD.
Well, so was Mario Party 10.
Mario Party 10, I guess. But
from sound effects and music, it was all the same, and they're finally changing that up.
Maybe this is the stopgap. Maybe this is another spin-off, and then we'll get Mario Party 11. That's fine.
Well,
it honestly did cross my mind.
If you go to their E3 page listing for Super Mario Party, they specifically state that they're treating this as kind of a rebranding, a reboot for the franchise, which is why it's called Super Mario Party. There's a reason they didn't slap an 11 on this, because they don't want it associated with the last 10.
Right.
This is a rebirth of Mario Party.
And there's so many things going on, right? So we have our classic Mario Party gameplay with a few twists that seem like they're meant to balance the gameplay to a certain degree, and you want a certain amount of RNG with Mario Party. You don't want it to just, oh, look at, I played the best. And they're doing exactly that. They're kind of taking some of the things that they did with the last few, but then they're infusing it with the best of Mario Party. And I think actually a lot of these other things about the game stand out because I know I'm getting that core experience.
Like the tabletop stuff. I was initially concerned that would play too deeply into the gameplay, but they confirmed. They're like, no, that's a completely separate experience within the game itself.
And I'm so glad it's there because it's super cool. I mean, do you remember us talking about like the patent?
Yeah, we specifically talked about that patent.
Yeah, and they're like, whoa, cool. What are they going to do patent for? And then they're like, oh, here's... That's what they
did we not bring up Mario Party when we were talking about that too?
Maybe.
I think we did.
Pretty sure we did.
So we called it.
It's question though.
What's that?
If this is a reboot, does that mean we have the glove to look forward to? The Super Mario Party glove?
Hopefully not.
And by like Super Mario Party 8, are we back in the cart?
That would be 9, but probably. Super Mario Party Advance releases exclusively on the Game Boy Advance. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. I love Mario Party, and
the one last thing, they played a segment. I don't know if you guys saw the segment of the like the 2v2 board.
I did.
I was like, this is so cool. This is like so much more interesting. So think about it like a grid, right? And so there's a bunch of just spaces laid out, and you get these big rolls, and you have to figure out how to spend those because you have to use all of them.
You know the cool thing about that is they lifted that directly out of Mario Party Star Rush on 3DS. So they're not abandoning their old ideas. They're adding them on top of the core concept.
Yeah, which is great.
That's a better way to go about it.
Yeah,
I want to pay money for this.
They made a good-looking Mario Party game, which is more than I can say in a long time.
They have the strategy with the new character dice blocks that have different numbers and values on them. Some of them might even give you coins or other items, which I thought was super cool. Like they've rebalanced the entire dice block system. Now you roll. That adds
value to your character selection too, which I really very much appreciate.
Which previously there was nothing like other than a face to it. So yeah, that's really awesome. You roll a min-max 1 to 6 on the standard dice block, and I want to say, and this could have just been me, but I think the board that the first one they showed off looked really small. So I think those new dice numbers are reflected in the board design.
Right.
So it's not very big. I wasn't super impressed with the board design, but we've only seen that one and then the one that looked like Star Rush. So I'm hoping to see more. Just knowing that the core gameplay is there is good enough for me at this point. Like, I am willing to buy it just so I can play it.
You roll, you take your turn, and at the end of everybody's turn, you freaking play a mini game, and then you keep going around in a circle. That's what I want.
My hope is we get full online board play, and if we do, maybe we'll even play with some of you guys. That could be so much fun.
Oh yeah.
But that's enough about Super Mario Party. That comes out in October. You can expect some full-on content for that game when it comes out, because I already told some of my friends I'm hosting a party the night the game comes out, because we're going to be playing. So Nintendo announced a couple other things, like Damon Ex Machina, which was the first game in their presentation.
Interesting start.
Yeah, mostly because that game didn't explain itself in the presentation at all. Like, we had to wait an entire day of Treehouse to find out what the game even is.
I still need to watch that segment and figure out what
I haven't watched it, so I'm not really sure what's going on.
So, like, I want to say the gameplay is designed by the guy who did Armored Core. And then some other designs are from, like, character artists from Fire Emblem Awakening, I want to say. So there's some good names on this game. And
it looks interesting.
And this is obviously an exclusive, because Nintendo opened their show with it.
Yeah, it kind of flew under the radar, other than like it opened the Direct.
I don't think it would have flown under the radar if the game hadn't, been shown without any explanation at all. It was so abstract too.
More.
Yeah, we don't know anything about it.
Did we get a release date on that, or was that just kind of it comes when it shows up?
I feel like that was 2019, but I honestly don't even remember. That's how much of an impression it left on me.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple 2019 games. We can move right along into the next one.
Scheduled to be released 2019.
Yeah, so alongside that, Fire Emblem Three Houses was finally shown off. And
oh man, that game. It looks so stellar.
Yeah, I gotta finish Awakening.
Get on it, Logan.
I know.
Like, I love what they're doing with the map, and like they added a bunch of like other soldiers to like the main character in that like little grid. And so it feels more populated. It feels like an actual battle, not just like a 1v1 every time you send one character to fight another.
Logan, stop changing your white balance.
Logan, I thought he was reacting.
Yeah, and then one of the things that struck me with Fire Emblem Three Houses, and it struck me with all of Nintendo's first-party content on the Switch so far, is that it is yet again a reinvention of a series. Fire Emblem Three Houses looks like an actual sequel to the series, and it's trying something new. Like you said, Paul, there's the extra, people on the map. You can explore the world in real time. That's brand new for the series. And the fact that this is the first game in high definition. Yeah, I mean, we went from the 3DS, which is super underpowered in comparison to the Switch, I would genuinely hope that they would do something like this for the next Fire Emblem game. And we got it. Like, I'm super impressed with what they showed.
Yeah, I don't know what necessarily I was expecting from this Fire Emblem Switch. I know I wanted to see it. I would have been angry if I hadn't seen it at E3. But yeah, it seems like, I don't know what I wanted, but I guess this is it, right? Okay, let's see how much we can fit on the screen at once.
Yeah, they're definitely showing off in that regard.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of like were sitting there and they watched Fire Emblem Fire Emblem Warriors, and they were just like,
we should do this.
Let's do that, except turn-based.
Yeah, it's like Dream Drop says, the battle system feels more like war, which is what was supposed to be happening the entire time over the course of the series.
Yeah, they definitely made it a more immersive experience, I think. What I'm curious about, though, looking at it, are they going to do a Fates with this based off the name, Three Houses? Is it going to be like a 3-in-1 game? Is it going to be just one game that involves three houses?
I would hope that it's not a 3-game thing. They tried it with Fates, and I don't necessarily think it worked out that well.
No.
Partly
I would have
because
played all 3 if I didn't lose my copy.
The messaging for Fire Emblem Fates was kind of poor. Because all 3 of those versions were complete standalone games, like start to finish, just as long as any other Fire Emblem game. And people just looked at the price tag and said, oh, no, that's a ripoff. And I'm like, no, you're being dumb. They're selling you a full-fledged Fire Emblem game for the price that you bought Awakening for, with the same amount of content. But apparently they did not know how to tell people that.
Yeah, and then they didn't know how to tell it. It made it sound like branching paths, and I would have been more okay with that.
Well, there is branching paths. It only happens once.
Right.
You make that decision in Chapter 6 of the game, and you choose between 2 houses, or if you have the Revelation DLC, you choose neither house. So like Paul said, I kind of hope they don't go that route. But if they do, it needs to all be burned into one cartridge.
I agree.
They need to work on their messaging.
Yeah, they should take those ideas that we're building on with Fates and just put that into one game and really make that singular game as good as it can be.
Dream Drop was like right on the nose, because he said exactly what I did right after I said it. Put it all in the cartridge. That'll work a lot better. One thing I noticed about the game, and this might just be a personal thing, is I don't think it looks that pretty overall, but it's still like probably a year away, so I will forgive it for now, but I'm not super impressed from a visual standpoint.
They tend to get prettier.
I think the characters look great. It's just the environments that I'm not too impressed with. Specifically when you're looking top down on the map, the environments just feel like an afterthought.
Yeah.
And, you know, I could forgive it on 3DS because, you know, they're dealing with the hardware. But now I feel like it should be a central part of the experience.
I swear.
Yeah, what is up with your color temperature, Logan?
I don't know, man.
And because of, like, the neutral colors of your background, it only changes your face.
I know.
Let's see, Dream Drop. Okay.
For anybody just listening to the podcast, my video, and I'm turning jaundice by no biological means. It's so
good to know. Dream Drop says, yeah, being in HD looks nice, but the world could have been fuller. It felt empty. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I hope it looks better going forward. But if not, it's whatever. As long as the game is good, that's the most important thing. Anything else about Fire Emblem before we move on?
No, I mean, I'm excited to see more. I'm glad that we got the tease because we got that news like last year, right? And so I've been waiting.
I'm pretty surprised at just how far away that game is, given how long ago it was announced.
Yeah,
maybe
I think they're still trying new stuff.
Maybe announcing it so long ago was a mistake.
It might have been. I mean, I kind of feel the same with Prime.
Well, Metroid Prime 4 was a special case because they were getting ready to announce another Metroid game on the 3DS.
Right.
So they said that to avoid the backlash that they got from Federation Force. So I think that was an intelligent move. Too. Yeah, right. And they did that with Pokemon. Fire Emblem, you know, they were announcing the Fire Emblem Echoes, but the Switch wasn't even anywhere near being a thing yet, so I don't feel like announcing Fire Emblem at that point was the smartest move.
Didn't they also announce Fire Emblem Warriors in that same direct? Or same presentation?
Fire Emblem Warriors... Was that direct before or after the Switch was revealed?
No, it was after.
Then no, Fire Emblem Warriors was announced
after the Switch was launched.
Fire Emblem Warriors was announced in the January event.
I remember them saying like that there would be a full-fledged Fire Emblem game announced the same time they announced Warriors, though.
They did. Well, it's 3 houses.
Yeah, but I think we're getting messed up on the timing that this all took place because Fire Emblem Warriors appeared both in that direct and in the January Switch presentation. I just don't remember which came first. I think the Fire Emblem Direct came first, but I could be wrong. Regardless, we got some other games to talk about. So that leak with all of the third-party titles coming to Switch was true. Fortnite obviously was in the Direct, released the same day. Dragon Ball FighterZ is coming to Nintendo Switch, which is a great get in my book. I have it on PS4, so I probably won't buy it again. Let's see. Paladins. But Paladins got announced a couple days ago. Killer Queen Black.
Star Fox Grand Prix.
That's coming. Star Fox Grand Prix. That was definitely true.
I mean, technically, it was just an Ubisoft's presentation, and it wasn't all what they said it would be.
Well, Retro didn't announce anything, so we don't know whether or not it's true or not.
Retro's not making anything.
I was talking about Starlink, guys.
Retro's
yeah, a joke. Keep up.
This is a bad joke. Retro's canceled.
Putting all the arcade archives games.
Canceled.
That's Paul's canceled. You're getting ejected from the call again.
Bye, guys.
There he goes. So they announced some cool stuff. Overcooked 2, I'm pretty excited about because I love the first game.
Yeah.
They announced another one.
Is that console exclusive?
I don't know. I doubt it.
I wonder how well that the did on consoles.
It sold very well on Switch.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not surprised.
They also kind of like soft announced a game called Ninjalah, which is some kind of ninja online versus multiplayer game where you're like these ninjas that use bubblegum powers, and they have like these rods that they use as swords, and you can run up walls and stuff. It's kind of reminiscent of Splatoon from a visual standpoint. I kind of liked what I saw, but don't really know anything about the game at this point. But that, I believe, is also slated for 2019. But that was just like thrown into their sizzle reel and just kind of ignored, which they did with a lot of games, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that brings us to the most important thing that happened in the Direct, being the
Starlink.
Right, Starlink. The full-on reveal of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So Sakurai, I've got a lot of feelings about this. Sakurai came on to talk about his new project, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and kicked things right off with a fighter introduction video, which turned out to be the most incredible trailer I've seen in many, many years. He starts off by telling us that he's going to show off the characters and then include a number that dictates when they were, when they were added to the Smash Brothers series. So he starts off with Mario, we see Samus, Link, and they just keep kind of skipping around. We start seeing some third-party characters from Smash Wii U, such as Cloud, and then it cuts away, comes back, the music kind of stops, and we see Snake pop into the screen, and I lost my mind.
And then it said...
Everyone is here.
Everyone is here.
The entire history of Super Smash Bros. Characters is joining the fight in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This is truly the Ultimate Edition of Super Smash Bros. And no, it is not a port.
It's not a port.
What if?
Go watch my video. We have a video.
About it.
Smash Bros. Switch, not a port. It's sure.
Well, they confirmed officially yesterday that the game is built from the ground up.
Right.
I feel like they're gonna need to confirm it like another 10 or 12 times before it sinks in for some people.
I sent you guys that video, like that Naruto spoof.
Yep.
And it summed up the argument quite nicely. It said, new characters, new stages, new game mechanics, built from the ground up, new music, all that stuff. That doesn't make a new game. Well, what does? What makes it a new game then?
Yeah, I tried watching that, and then I wasn't getting any sound.
I did the same. Thing happen to me.
And then I realized my headphones weren't plugged in.
We both did that.
We both did it, and we had a conversation.
Even the models are brand new, so I don't know what you guys are talking about. It's a new game.
Ridley they just so desperately want it to be a port.
They want it to be right about it being a port. And well, one of the things I notice is a lot of people who are claiming it's a port don't lean very heavily into the competitive side of Super Smash Brothers, because it was immediately noticeable to me that this game is much faster than Smash 4. This is not the same game.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't notice specifically, but I haven't played like a ton of Smash 4. But I did see, I was watching some gameplay earlier. They were talking about how it's faster. They were specifically playing with Fox and Sonic. And they were talking about, oh, it's too fast now. Oh my gosh, like I can't move around.
I feel like that was a mistake. You shouldn't show.
No, it wasn't like a negative thing. They're just like, these people, whoever playing.
That's not what I mean. What I mean is don't talk about the game being faster by showing us characters that are fast. You need to do it by showing us characters that are slow.
Right, right. No, I'm glad that they kind of like, they were like, okay, Brawl, we brought it. The Smash 4 is kind of this happy medium. And then it's like, well, it could be a little bit faster, but not quite as fast as Melee.
So we thought they found like the perfect happy medium with Smash 4, and it turns out we were wrong.
We were wrong.
They weren't done.
Sakurai was like, oh my god, this is all right, time to freaking make another game because this one, no. He's going to sit with this one, and then there's going to be the next Smash Bros. And he goes, this one, this is my final game. This is my final game.
He finally came out and said that about this one, so that's 3 games in a row that he said that.
So, I mean, I hope he's telling the truth. I hope he's telling the truth.
I honestly, like, what I want him to do is get a small team to add in, like, if any major IPs pop up, they can add in some characters as DLC, but that man can just relax.
Yeah.
Treat this as a service for a while, port to the next system, whatever you gotta do. But darn it, Sakurai, take a break.
Sakurai, the thing that scared me the most is like when we first saw Sakurai in that direct, he was noticeably thinner and paler than he's looked since Smash 4 came out. And you know what else? You know who else that happened to? Satoru Iwata before he died. Like we saw him in a direct shortly before he passed, and he was really skinny.
Yeah, but Satoru Iwata also had a illness.
Well, we don't know what's going on with Sakurai. Like he's already came out and said that his work days have been shortened, and we don't know why.
Well, maybe because he's working too much. Maybe they can't.
All I know is
Sakurai, stop. You're getting older.
We are sick of your work ethic. Calm down.
I feel like
That's not something you hear very often.
Sakurai's the kind of guy who, he's very passionate. He is very protective of his baby, being Smash Brothers, and he kind of sees himself as the only person who can do it right. And
Right.
I don't know that he's entirely wrong about that, because Sakurai has certain development philosophies and gameplay ideas that only he has. Like, that's specifically his tool belt.
And he'll only have those until he teaches them to somebody else, which is why it's all the more important to actually, get somebody to buddy up with him and learn the ropes and see why he makes the decisions that he makes, and then hopefully somebody can make similar decisions in the future.
He'll never find someone who thinks exactly like him, but we can get close.
I mean, but we don't want that, because we don't want the same game forever. I mean, we don't want
Melee
the first Super Smash Bros. We don't want Melee.
Some people would very much fight you on that one, but
I mean, yeah, but they can go play those games.
Mango, who was at the Invitational, already came out and said that he's just going to go back to Melee.
Of course he is, but he's not important. He's not important.
He also got knocked out in the first round, so I don't think he has a lot he can say.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like the same thing. Is if we were just playing 2D sprite adventure games for the rest of our lives, why? Things have to evolve, things have to change. Miyamoto off Legend of Zelda to Aonuma, and Aonuma's kind of doing the same.
Yeah.
So
you might not find someone with the exact same philosophy as him.
Absolutely not.
You can find someone with the dedication and passion that he has, who cares about it just as much as he has. And that's
somebody who knows about the genre, who knows the game, and who, again, sit there and figure it out, who is dedicated to the job. And can make good decisions. Not the same decisions, because they're different people, and that's okay. But I think it's time for Sakurai to retire, at least from directing Smash Bros.
I'm
and
kind of
in
the position where I think maybe Sakurai should just stop making games for a while.
Take a break.
He needs to figure out figure out how to live again, and then make a new game.
I'm down.
Gain some fresh perspective.
Just do either smaller games or produce larger games where you're not so much in the creative stuff, but okay, well, here's the philosophy, and here's what you guys are doing wrong. Here's what you're doing right. Just like Aonuma did with Breath of the Wild. That's all he did. He's like, okay, well, this game is you're overseen, but you're not having your hands in everything.
I'm gonna take a backpedal real quick to go over some of these comments. Dreamdrop says he's super passionate about what he does, but he overclocks his own abilities so much. He's very artistic in the sense that he has a vision that no one else can pull off, but that's not healthy in work. And we're definitely seeing that visibly, and that's very concerning as a fan of his work, and it's just just being concerned for him as a person in general.
It's it's a strange position to be in, to care about somebody that you don't know. Right, but you wish the best for them. So when you see them constantly doing things that are detrimental to their health, you want to say, dude, get your life figured. If I started doing things that were bad for my health, which I do a lot of them, I'm trying to fix them, but if I wasn't aware of them, I would hope that somebody would come along and say, Logan, stop screwing up your life. Maybe you should get some sleep every once in a while.
I'm sure Sakurai has
quit screwing up your life and get some sleep every once in a while.
I'm sure Sakurai has those people in his life, but ultimately it's going to come down to him and what he wants to do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Dark Ryoku says he can't stand Melee purists. Well, I think the Melee audience has changed since Smash 4 came out. It was a lot more toxic during the Brawl era, because Melee fans took it personally when Brawl came out that their game was changed. And that was really kind of, immature. But it is what it is. I think they're turning around. Mango has also said he's a tad envious of current Smash players because he wants to feel excited for a new Smash, but he can't. There's nothing wrong with loving Melee as your favorite. It's a great game, and they can love that if they want to. And that's fantastic. There's a reason Melee is still around today. Nikolai Gordon says, Smash Ultimate really needs the support from the Melee audience. I hope a lot of those guys move on. Evo might be dropping Melee next year, so who knows. I'll riot if Sakurai doesn't take a sabbatical. Nikolai also says, do you think Sakurai will be developing DLC for Smash Ultimate if we get it? Or do you think he'll take a backseat and let the team at Bandai Namco take care of it?
I do not want him after he finishes the game to go and make more content. I want more content. I don't want Sakurai making it. That man needs a break.
I think it's probably already in the pipeline. I think whatever DLC that they're going to do the exact same thing they did for Splatoon, for Mario Tennis, for all these other games.
Do you think it's going to be free DLC?
Not all of it. I think it'll take a similar approach. I'm not saying that it'll replicate everything that's been happening, but I think something similar will happen. I think I want characters and stages to be free. I imagine that they could maybe they forego story for this game, and then later on DLC.
I could see story being premium DLC. I have a hard time seeing stages and characters being free in the current era of Nintendo we live in.
There are two things.
Are you kidding me?
Pay for
I think that's the most plausible explanation.
Nintendo likes money.
Well, yeah, they like money, but they know how to do it, right? No, they're not getting grabby with Splatoon 2. They're like, here's free DLC for a year. Oh wait, sorry, a year and a half. Thank you, Nintendo.
There are two things.
But then here's $20 DLC down the line. I think something similar will happen with Smash.
I would pay for characters and stages as DLC, and granted, I'm lumping those two into one. But I would also pay for a story mode after the fact. Those are the two things that I would pay for DLC.
I could almost see those being one big ultimate pack, just released all at once.
I'd like to not spend $60 on DLC this time.
Yeah. I think
20 or 30.
I don't want to spend what the game's worth twice over, right? But I think whatever it is, I think we'll be fair about it. And I don't think we'll.
I didn't feel cheated out with Smash Wii U because the kind of content I was getting was very valuable to me. So I was willing to pay that.
Absolutely.
Well, those packs also were just full of stuff.
Sakurai gave you lots of goodies. Yeah.
There's a million different ways that they can monetize this game.
I still don't want to spend $60 on DLC because I just spent $90 to get more GameCube controllers.
Yeah,
I know what I'm about.
In my cart, right? I have the Super Smash Bros. Pre-order, which Amazon Prime you get the discount, right? And then you get the GameCube controller and the adapter. You guys already have the adapter, or at least Brandon does. I know.
I do.
The second one. This is the mark.
I'm getting a second one too.
But like between those three items, it's $100.
And I paid for that with Smash 4 as well, and I'm about to do it again.
That's the DLC. That's the DLC. Is the GameCube.
I'm not at the point where, specifically for Super Smash Brothers, that I would see them releasing that kind of content for free. Maybe at a reduced price, not as expensive as we've seen it in the past. And maybe if you subscribe to Switch Online, you'll even get a discount on those things.
I would be cool with the season pass.
And they did
like
those
a season
too.
Pass this time.
They weren't season pass, but they were full content packs, which might as well just be a season pass.
Right, you pay the $20 and you get all of it.
I mean, if they're gonna have like $60 worth of packs, maybe like a $50 season pass, or some crap like that. Just give me a little value and let me pay for all of it up front because I want it all.
Would I like to see characters be free? Absolutely. I'm in a position where I think. And I said this about Smash 4, but that was until I realized what Smash Ultimate was. This is the last Smash Brothers game. They're going to build on this forever.
I hope so. I mean, I think they'll continue to balance it and change things up. But this is Ultimate. This is the ultimate Smash Bros. Game, and we'll just get.
And it's that name that makes me think that.
And then like they stress so much in the direct. This is a lot of work.
Yeah.
So I think going into the future, like we have that basis of HD and the ultimate version of Smash Bros. And so it's just a matter of iterating.
Knowing what I know about Japanese culture, seeing Sakurai sit there on screen and, say, hey, I would not expect a lot of newcomers. There's a big level of respect that comes from that because he's actually pleading with the consumer.
I don't see that very often. Characters and everyone else back. Like that is a ridiculous character roster in comparison to any other game. I'm okay with that. I mean, I do want more over time. Like I want this game to always be relevant. but I'm cool with what we got for the base game.
Like, considering everything, it's almost like we got 4 characters. You know, we got the Inklings, we got Snake, we got Ice Climbers, we got Wolf. Oh, 5. We got Daisy. 6. We got Ridley. Like,
did you say Young Link?
Yeah, we got Young Link back. Like,
we got way too many people back.
Yeah, we're sitting at a roster of 65 right now. That's a lot. If you consider those characters, if you consider the cut characters as newcomers, in a way I do, because obviously they're touched up. We haven't seen some of these characters in 10 or 15 years, respectively. This is new content to me. This is not a veteran. This is a newcomer for me at this point. And I've played all the Smash games. Snake is a newcomer to me because I haven't played with him for 10 years. Not counting the days of Project M, but obviously that's not an official product.
Yeah. Yeah, no, in the days of online, like, with they're setting this up to be something that's going to be played for a very long time.
The fact that they brought back every single character, there's no way Sakurai is ever doing this again. This is it. If he does it again, he's a bigger madman than I thought.
The next console, port it in 4K, and then just keep adding to it.
That's all they have to do. I will buy it every time. And,
yeah.
You know, we have the Switch online account system and cloud saves. They can utilize those features so that when you buy the next version of Smash Ultimate on the next system,
you just keep your save data.
Your save data comes with you. Exactly.
Cloud that.
Oh, Nintendo Snow is here. I'm going to back up a little bit. Yeah, a really interesting conversation about DLC right now. Seasonal character DLC would be fantastic and is likely, considering this is pretty early in Switch development. Dreamdrop says there are people who think it's not the last Smash, and it's like, no, you're being dumb. You can't compare this to Ultimate Marvel or Ultimate Mortal K, because those were final versions of those respective entries of the series. This game, though, is named Ultimate right off the bat, meaning it's the Ultimate Smash, period. They are very strong with their messaging with that title. I can't see there being another Smash that isn't Ultimate again.
Yeah, again, I think it's just going to be iterative here on out. Your 10 updates, so you'll see a new stage here or there, and maybe even a new
Echo Fighters
down the line. But essentially, it's going to be the same game. You know, it's like Sakurai kind of went into this again, making this is the ultimate version. This is like everything I can think of perfected.
He's trying to please as many people as possible. And in my eyes, there's no way he can do it any better.
Yeah, this is it. They even brought back air dodge.
What a great concession! We should use that to start talking about some techniques, and just like
I was about to say
Smash.
Well, just a couple of visual elements though that I want to touch on.
Oh, go for it, Paul.
When you there's like that special knockout or ultimate knockout, or I forgot what they called it. Like
the slow-mo thing
adds so much flair, like especially for like the tournament scene.
That's exactly why it's in there.
There's that. There's like when you're doing a 1v1 and you start like a new stock, it shows up on the score on screen for you. Like this is a competitive game.
Sakurai is finally, he's legitimately catering to that audience. He recognizes them. He understands that they're an important piece of Smash history, and he's throwing them a bone.
He's saying they're wrong, and then he's gonna do it right though.
When you watch,
he's like okay, no, we're not sticking with Melee. We're gonna take some of that Melee stuff that he likes, and we're gonna put it in the game, but make it work.
This feels like a sequel to Melee. People have been clamoring for Melee HD. This is Melee 2.
Well, this is a more accessible Melee. It's just as competitive. Visually, it's also just perfect for competition. Like if you watch this, it makes every round more epic. Like it is so fun to watch other people play this game.
Okay, but the real question is Smash Tour in this game?
We don't know modes yet, but hopefully.
So the directional air dodge, I think that was a great callback to Melee. It really significantly changes the air game and the offstage game. I can't wait to see how things change. Even your ground game, the kinds of mix-ups that are possible just because you can do that now, and there's no penalty per se for doing it outside of the the dodge decay, which they've added as well.
Right.
Up to 6 dodges, your ending frames lag longer. So it's catering to aggressive play, and it's catering to new types of play, which will be fresh for the Smash series. And I think once Melee players start to see that, that might draw some of them over. I don't ever anticipate Melee will die, but I think we might start seeing some play both.
Yeah, it seems like that, like there's a lot of new strategies that people are going to have to employ. Just because, like, again, this kind of takes like best of like everything and then balances all together. So people are really going to have to think on their toes, especially when they start playing it, until, you know, the meta is kind of discovered.
Well, you want to talk strategy and whatnot. Like, look at the damage scaling from 1v1 to like 4-player Smash. You do less damage in 4-player Smash, so it lasts longer.
That's going to change doubles.
Exactly. Like, that's so mind-boggling to me.
Also, percentage points.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's decimal point.
For Pichu.
I have a feeling that's a result.
There's more information that they're feeding up. Like, you think that...
I feel like that's a result of the to change damage scaling between 1-on-1s and free-for-alls.
And Pichu.
And Pichu. Perfect shielding is changed completely. So before, you would have to press the shield button. This is something I was pretty good at. I'll toot my own horn here.
Yeah, you were.
You press the shield button the moment an attack lands. You'll take no damage, no recoil, and you can instantly counter. Now, you have to shield before the attack reaches you and let go of the shield the moment the attack lands.
I love it.
It's fantastic.
Dream Drop Sora, too, is making a good point in the chat here.
Changes in choosing the stage first, then characters, makes the metagame focused on picking your character more important. Yeah, the fact that Sakurai had the forethought to even do that is incredible to me. And that's something I didn't even notice until they pointed it out. And I had watched like 4 matches at that point.
It's crazy.
That might eliminate the need for stage striking, since you're picking your characters after the fact.
Yeah.
Kind of lost my earlier train of thought. Where was I at? We were talking about perfect shielding.
Yes.
So there was another element that they added to that. Not only does a perfect shield change, or the way you do it change, the type of attack that you perfect shield actually dictates how much of a counter opportunity you have. If a character does a bigger attack, from what I understand, your window of opportunity is also bigger. So the punishing is actually more punishing. So there
is
because it's easier to block.
Well, it's technically harder to block now.
Oh.
According to Smash players who were there and to Sakurai himself, this was intended to make it harder to pull off, not easier.
Okay.
I look forward to the day that you do that. You perfect shield a Falcon punch and just destroy me. It'll happen.
I want to bring up Nintendo plays really quick, since I mean we're talking pretty competitive, and that's not the only side to Smash. He says he wants a really strong, or he wants an actual single player mode, even if it's something smaller like Smash Run. Also, get rid of Smash Tour and burn it. Let's refine Smash Tour and put it back in, and maybe try something new with it.
Add some amiibo.
Yeah, I mean, look what they're doing with Super Mario, right? Take some of that, infuse it. Add mini games.
Make like Amiibo Festival, but good, and with all the Smash Amiibo, so people that bought them can do something with them.
And if Sakurai wants this to be the ultimate Smash, not only do you need characters and stages, and we haven't even talked about stages, you need all your modes. That's a core part of Smash Bros.
They could that could be part of the content updates. You know, whether because you know Nintendo's in addition to paid DLC. It's just a matter of what is what, you know, and it might be like maybe the free content updates are the modes, and then maybe the premium are the characters and the stages or something like that.
Bring back Board the Platforms from Smash 64. We haven't seen it since then. That and Target Smash were designed.
Target Smash! Please bring back Target Smash.
Oh yeah,
they were designed
I want Target Smash so
specifically in Smash 64 to teach you how characters worked. because they were designed by per character, and obviously that was also the case in Melee. But Brawl and On, they kind of went to a condensed overall target smash, which wasn't nearly as fun or as exciting. So bring some of that stuff back. Free content, DLC updates, that's great. That's a good way to do that. Or if they wanted to do premium DLC packs and include them on top of whatever the main content is, that's fine too. It just also makes it more valuable.
Value to the DLC,
Yeah.
Stages.
It looks like Gotcha Mike asks if are some characters the same? Yes, some characters are the same to a degree.
Everybody's
the game
been touched,
is fundamentally different. Everybody's different, right?
Inherently with the game
every
speed,
character's different.
Inherently with the game speed changing, everyone's different now.
But in terms of like characters changing drastically, there's probably some that are mostly the same, you know.
Like Mario is fundamentally still Mario.
They just added some eyes on his hat, you know.
Yeah, but they also
which was a nice visual concession.
Cappy is a taunt, and he is just a visual nice thing.
I wish they would have like added that into his final smash or something.
Well, at least Mario got some visual updates. Like his idle animation is new. He faces the camera more than he did in the previous games. I don't know if you guys got to look at this, but there's a lot of texture work going on him. I looked at some comparison shots between this and Smash Wii U, and there's texture on his hat, all of his clothes, including his overalls. And remember how his overalls were textured in Melee? It looks like that, but in Smash 4 style. So like there's
this game is gorgeous.
They changed
absolutely.
The art style is a beautiful blend between like Brawl, which was like a little more gritty, realistic, and Smash 4, which was about bright colors and preserving what the characters looked like in their natural games. And I think they found a really cool happy medium with this. So like Smash will stand on its own with its visual identity, but the characters are also true to form. So good work. Like that's hard to pull off.
Yeah, there's a lot going for this game. I'm like a 10 on the hype scale, honestly.
Get on our level, Logan. We're both
it's only going to go 11 as we get closer to launch. And also as we figure out more information based on the game. Like we got a lot. I think we got the information that we need to get. And it's like, this is a new Smash game. Here's the subtitle, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And here's how the game plays.
Sakurai focused on the things that people want to know the most, by far.
Yeah.
And everything else is secondary. Like, okay, we got all the characters, we got how stages, we'll wait for those. Modes, we'll wait for those. You know, it's like, okay, here's the characters, here's the gameplay. That's what we want to see. That's what we got.
Intense No Play says, I don't think I want more DLC. They're top tier, and it's kind of pay to win situation when that's the case. All my friends had the extra money to get the DLC characters, and I didn't. Guess who lost every match? Well, the characters being top tier was more of an issue of balancing than anything.
Which eventually did get balanced. It just took a while.
Well, except for Bayonetta. She's still broken. But
good times.
Despite that, I don't think that should dissuade anyone from more content. It's not pay to win. This is not a pay-to-win model. That is a very different looking thing, and this is not it.
Yeah, the whole goal is that you don't want any character to necessarily have an overall advantage. Obviously, in certain situations, faster or slower characters, more powerful characters will have those advantages, but overall, you're not supposed to have like that big advantage, right?
And Nikolai makes a good point. He says, to be fair, the only reason Cloud and Bayo were top tier and never nerfed was because the team had presumably moved on to work onto Ultimate right after their release with no time to balance. That's probably what happened.
I would almost bet that was what's going to happen. And so, I mean, this game, it's like, if this is Bros, if there is never an intention to make a completely original Smash Bros. Game for the very, very near future, maybe 15, 20 years. Because they just want to take this game, keep reiterating on, have the deluxe ultimate version on the next console with all the DLC and
Generations Ultimate
modes, and they just build on top of that. I just want a better game, right?
Yeah.
So if this is the best, I was already convinced that 4 was the best but then I didn't realize there was all these issues with it, and then I was like, oh well, I guess they fixed it now, and so now we have a more perfect game, and I'm okay with this. I'm so okay with this.
No, it's not that they're selling high tier characters intentionally. That was just an issue of balancing. They're not trying to make any character better or worse than another. That is just inherent flawed design. That's something that they have to work towards and fix. So I wouldn't worry about that so much. And it gets even harder when you have a roster of 65 characters. That puts a lot of pressure on the team to make this right.
Yeah, that's a lot of balancing, right?
That being said, Smash 4 is a far better balanced game than Melee, and it has double its roster.
They're learning.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Well, Melee also like didn't really get patched the way Wii U did.
Yeah, but I think Smash 4 is still released in a better state.
Yeah. Real quick.
The only company that really intentionally sells high tier characters is Riot Games with League of Legends. I'm not super big into that scene, so I wouldn't know myself. But you know, as many years as I've been playing Smash, and you know, I've been involved in the competitive community, I can say with the utmost confidence that they are not trying to sell high tier characters. That is not the intention. So I wouldn't worry.
Yeah, I do want to backtrack to one point. I can't really find it, but I remember what it was for the most part. The stage selection. How you have the Battlefield version, you have the Omega, you have
hazard toggle
with and without hazard. Nikolai made the point that there's going to be so many more legal stages.
This is going to be a far more interesting Smash to watch because there's going to be so much more variety now.
Yeah. I love that
Smash
so
64
much.
has one legal stage. One.
Which stage is that?
Dreamland.
Dreamland?
It's the only legal stage in Melee, or in Smash 64.
That's so funny.
And to kind of bounce off of stages, this is something I wanted to mention. I want to say the current updated list of discovered stages is 83 out of just like 113. I think I saw the number updated to 120 possible stages from past games. That's a lot.
I would be surprised if all of them are just there.
That's almost
this is kind of a huge game.
That's almost as much as the stages in 3DS and Wii U, including overlapped ones in both cases, combined. Hello?
Do we still get the stage builder?
I hope so, but please fix it.
Because those stages were the best because they were terrible.
The builder in Brawl was a lot better than Smash 4.
Yeah.
Smash 4, you could draw the stages, but they got rid of all of the custom parts and special little things you could add in there that made it fun.
Yeah.
So they're bringing back a ton of Melee stages, a ton of Smash 4 stages, obviously, and they're all getting like really nice visual updates, but they're making concessions in nice places. They're like, you look at a stage like Saffron City, which pretty much looks like the way it did in N64, but the textures are updated, but the Pokemon in the elevator are still their old pixelated JPEG looking selves, and that was definitely an intentional decision, and I love that. They're making.
But what if it wasn't? What if they were like, oh, we already maxed it out.
No space left on the cartridge.
There's some low poly. I don't think it's like nostalgic.
Well, you look at Dreamland in Smash 4, and Dreamland was added, and I want to say Dreamland was kept exactly the way it looked in N64, despite the other N64 stages that they added getting complete overhauls.
Right.
So they're definitely being careful with which ones they actually update. And I want to make it a point to note that the stages from Smash 4 and even the returning stages from Smash 4, like the past stages that were in that game, are getting visual updates too. Those HD stages are also getting touched up. Hello,
heck yeah, man.
Sakurai, are you a god?
Can we just praise the fact that Corneria's back and it's not stuck on the 3DS version?
Yes,
it's my favorite stage, and this is only on the 3DS version. Why?
This is already the best Smash Bros. Game.
Yeah,
you know. And here's the thing. There's two possibilities that we're gonna get a few more DLC characters down the line. Hopefully Sakurai doesn't touch them. Hopefully he just lets the team have them. Like, okay, you guys have played enough Melee that you guys can create these characters, you can craft these characters, and there's still a handful that I think would fit really well into the roster. You don't need a ton, just a few more. You know, I think would be great. So I can't see what happens down the line.
Mm-hmm. Snow, to kind of, I know you're still on the character balancing thing. You mentioned how Samus kind of sucks compared to everybody else. Well, here's some knowledge for you. I played Brawl very competitively, and
yeah, you did.
I mained Ike, who was almost dead bottom of the tier list, and I still slayed it in tournaments. It can be done. Yeah, don't worry.
Honestly, like, I've seen him play. You would not know that he was playing like bottom of the tier list. And especially like I saw you go up against like Meta Knight, which was high tier in that game.
And I was
You're ridiculous, man.
Yeah. And that's really the thing. It's like somebody tier because they're either easier sessions that lend themselves to whoever's play style and stuff like that. But again, you put the right character in front of the right person, and the game totally changes. The tier lists are merely, oh, Fox is winning, so he's top tier.
Oh yeah, they're based on tournament standings. It's a constantly changing thing. You know, that's why they have updated tier lists like once a year. I wouldn't worry. Like, Sakurai's is going out of his way with every game to make sure the balance is as good as it can be. And with a platform fighter like this, it just gets harder and harder with each character addition.
Well, if this game is iterative too, I can speak.
You can, Paul.
This will constantly be balanced. I think they're going to constantly be fine-tuning it.
Patch nodes.
It's not like it was with Melee, or GameCube era, where you get the game and that is the game. It is constantly changing and getting better and more balanced and more fair as they go.
Welcome to the internet age.
It's glorious.
They're going to keep trying, and I have faith that they're going to try and get as close as they can, but I think it's...
Daddy Sakurai will not let us down.
I think it's impossible for it to be perfect. I don't think there's any way it can be done.
That will not exist in any
I made it... Okay. I'm going to toot my own horn. I made a tweet earlier, okay?
Yeah, you did.
Better is better than best when best is a fantasy, okay? There is no such thing as perfection. But getting close... it's good enough. Okay, don't shoot for the stars. Shoot for your bed and have a nice nap. You know. So yeah, I think it'll never be perfect, but you know, as they see issues arise, this character's side B smash, it's a little too strong. So we're just gonna bop that down a little, and it's all experimentation. You can't just calculate all of this.
No,
if you could, it would be perfect. You just have to go off and like, okay, well, this gives this person an advantage, and this gives this person an advantage, and how do we kind of make sure that they're all roughly on the same level?
Brandon, did you send me there was a video that I distinctly remember that kind of explained why there are tiers and why certain characters are better than others in given situations, and that's if you wanted the game to be absolutely perfectly balanced, you'd be playing with exclusively Mario, and it would not be an interesting game. You need the heavy characters. That
also, you'd be choosing
characters
choosing
and
certain
the disparity.
Yeah,
and you'd be choosing certain characters based on the character choices of the other player, right? So you would see, oh, this person's using Meta Knight. Okay, well, what's the best character to counter Meta Knight? So that gets into the meta of the game, right?
The meta of the game.
You can't just learn one character. The more characters you know, and the more characters you know more intimately, you can have maybe like 3 or 4 characters that you know really well, and choose those characters. If you're playing competitively based on, okay, this person chose this character, so I'm going to do this character for this, and this reason.
And I think my biggest word of advice, whether you play competitively or not, just have a good time.
It's going to be a good time. It's
actually, I do want to give a quick anecdote about my main and how I got there. So Brandon's really good at Smash, if we haven't like explained that enough. And I'm okay. I'm decent at best. And so I main Captain Falcon, and I learned Captain Falcon because I was terrible at Captain Falcon. And I was just like, there's one day that I was so tired of getting my butt kicked by Brandon that I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna have fun. I'm just gonna completely goof. And like, I think the fact that I was like intentionally trying to nerf myself kind of threw you a bit off. And so I slowly learned how to not destroy myself with Captain Falcon, and just he became my greatest strength just from having fun with it.
There have been like Brandon specifically. Okay, Brandon knows those games, right? And so he is anticipating your next move, your next attack, and so it's really hard to get a drop.
I'm no genius, by the way.
And so right, but you're much better than we are at the game, admittedly. And one of the things that I've beaten Brandon before, right, and he doesn't win all the time, and I would imagine that even the best players don't win all the time, you know. But maybe I'll pick an unorthodox character, and then I'll be goofing off, and all of a sudden Brandon can't anticipate what's happening. Oh my gosh. Okay, and I'll mention this when we get to our other topics, but there is a show I've been watching, and this has everything to do with that show. So
all right, well, we went on a long-winded tangent.
It's Smash Brothers is gonna happen.
Yeah, it's just kind of how it goes.
That's why everybody's here listening to us talk.
I would be remiss if we didn't talk about Inkling and Ridley before we move on, because
they're very welcome additions.
Inkling was my #1 want, and that was addressed right out the gate, so I was like, I don't know what else I want. And then Sakurai was like, I think I know what everybody wants, and then he dropped Ridley on us, and we all died.
That's not right, though, because I wanted Springman.
I want a Waluigi.
And Waluigi. Logan gets
Springman and Waluigi.
You know,
I'll take Ridley. Ridley's a really cool looking character, and I want him in the roster.
You know, Sakurai put Waluigi in that assist trophy trailer just to shut everybody down.
Hey guys, it's not
calculated.
See, I can live in a world where Waluigi isn't in Smash. I do think there's a great opportunity for representation for the Mario sports games.
Yeah,
because he could be tennis, he can be golf, he can be kart, he can be all of those other games that probably don't get represented in like movesets. And it'd be perfect.
I still think it's a possibility down the line.
Springman definitely has to come to Smash at some point. I will not stand to live in a world where there isn't Springman in Smash.
Also,
resolve for Smash.
Bring Duck on Dog. I want him in Smash.
That'll never happen.
Just like it'll never be a Smash game on Switch.
Sakurai picked the exactly right character to reveal at the end of that show.
Exactly right character.
Well, he did. He played to the audience.
No, I agree.
Not only that, he played to the Western audience specifically, because that was one of the top requested characters specifically from Western players. And the fact that he wasn't pushed so hard in Japan is probably why we haven't seen him until now. Sakurai's listening to everyone. He wants to please everybody.
That was like
Ridley's too big.
Ridley was the non-hilarious version of Skyrim Very Special Edition Bethesda's presentation.
Yeah. Ridley is actually the real joke character, in the fact that he is the most serious character you can imagine.
He killed Mario.
He killed Mario.
I had a whole conversation with people about just the Mario Slayer.
and at the end, he picks up Mario's hat and spins it on his finger, just like the original trailer for Super Mario Odyssey.
I really hope that there is a costume for Ridley where he's wearing Mario's hat.
That'd be hilarious.
I would die.
Speaking of costumes, we saw in Ridley's trailer, we saw Meta Ridley, which is not available in his set of 8 colors in the E3 demo, which makes me wonder if Meta Ridley will be available as an Echo character. So Sakurai might double dip for you guys for Ridley.
Well, actually, like, we have to remember that every character is technically in Super Smash Brothers right now, because we have Mii Fighters coming back.
Yep, Mii Fighters are here.
Everyone confirmed.
Everyone is here. Everyone in existence.
Doom Guy is in Smash.
Abraham
Ridley
Lincoln strikes again.
Is actually in Smash. Abraham Lincoln. Iwata.
Sakurai said that we can't expect a lot of newcomers, and I'm okay with that. But I wouldn't be surprised if we got 3 or 4 more tops.
Yeah, DLC down the line.
I don't think this is the final roster for launch, though.
You don't think it's the final launch?
And some Echo
you think there's
Fighters.
more?
I think there's at least 2 or 3 more before the game comes out.
Wow.
Well, when they showed, people have been mentioning when they showed off those amiibo, there was 4 stands and only 2 of them had amiibo on them. And
I don't buy into that one.
There's also 2 empty slots on the character roster on the website.
Oh yeah, the slots, right? Because we all know that characters are taking up.
I don't
right?
read
Because there's a limit to how many.
During the Splatoon 2,
I'm the one who doesn't believe in that. Don't throw that back in my face.
Well, then why are you making?
I'm talking about website design.
During the Splatoon 2 conference, though, they had the same case with Splatoon amiibos, but there was only 1 slot missing, and that was the card saying Splatoon 2. So I honestly buy into the 2 other slots being necessarily to have amiibo there. I think they were just kind of prepared for 4 if they needed to, or 3, and then they had the other card to keep the set together.
They also said that there was a Daisy amiibo coming, and it wasn't ready yet to even show us. So maybe there's also a chance there were 2 amiibo that were supposed to be there, and maybe they just weren't anyway.
The website thing is legit, though.
There is definitely just 2 spaces next to Ridley that are completely unoccupied. But whether or not that means anything, I still stand firm, and I don't think we've seen the last of newcomers before the game launches. Because Sakurai still has some stuff to tell us about. He has to tell us about modes. He has to tell us about trophies and extra content. Those will not those will not be unaccompanied by character reveals. They will absolutely have character reveals with them.
We need some character reveals for the 50 fact extravaganza, which need them around.
Yeah, I think I don't know why, like, even though like they announced a release date for December, I was anticipating that it becomes sooner. I don't know why. I just
because it makes sense with Switch Online to launch at the same time, but
right. It's
there's also that
sooner. But yeah, I think even if they didn't, I'd be okay.
No, I'm satisfied.
Yeah. Though I do want that like Avengers Infinity War fake out where last second they're like, hey, it's actually sooner.
Yeah. How does Nintendo keep all of this stuff under wraps? Like, I feel like they allow certain things to leak.
I know the answer.
To like kind of misdirect everybody's attention. They're like, oh my god, let's talk about things that could be leaking, and they're like, we're keeping those under wrap. Like, for example, nobody knew it was called Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and that's one of the
how to keep it under wraps, though.
Having leaks is that you get a surprise. And it's nice.
You keep it under wraps by revealing it in March and then showing it at E3.
No, you keep it under wraps by not putting Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on the sheet with all the other games that they got leaked. That's how you do it.
Oh,
you put that on a different page in the manual.
So I would expect, let's see, they usually do a fall direct around September, October. We'll definitely see some stuff in there. And there might be one more like Smash-centric 50-fact extravaganza type thing that gets thrown in there as well.
Please.
There will be at least one character at each, and accompanied by Echo characters, because I think there's going to be a lot more Echo characters than we think right now.
I want
Rex and Pyra?
Rex and Pyra couldn't be an Echo character.
Springman and...
You think they'll be original?
They'd have to be.
There at all? I don't... if Roger ever...
You keep it secret by not telling Walmart.
Yes. Or Steam.
Yeah, like with Rex and Pyra, just inherently how the two fight together wouldn't make sense to like put over Shulk.
Right.
It would actually be a disservice.
Ice climbers.
Oh, you're right. Exactly.
Ice climbers.
That's definitely
Echo character for ice.
I think Arms character, you could get 2 Arms characters at least.
Yeah, Echo Fighters, man.
Yeah,
it's right there.
I like it.
Yeah, I think maybe they'll start looking. We have all these Echo Fighters.
Missed all of that, Logan.
Huh?
He said he wants Echo Fighters for every Fire Emblem protagonist ever.
Yeah.
All in the style of Mark.
Yeah, give me Chrom. Give me Chrom.
Nikolai is pointing out that Shadow isn't seen as an assist trophy, and Knuckles specifically has been seen as an assist trophy. So I think we have another Echo Fighter right there with Shadow.
I'm into it.
Yeah, Shadow would make more sense than even Knuckles. Because Knuckles, it could be something completely different.
Now, Dream Drop, you're thinking on my level. He wants Ike climbers. 10 out of 10 would buy.
Also, every character is there except Ike. Ike didn't make the cut.
No. I'm so glad Ike's got both of his costumes. Shadow could stand to be his own character, but I think an Echo Fighter just makes the most sense for this kind of thing. Like Daisy. Daisy being an Echo Fighter makes perfect sense to me. What else would you really do with Daisy?
Oh, I was going to say...
Waluigi should be an Echo Fighter.
Captain Falcon. Captain Falcon. He needs to be an Echo Fighter for Captain Falcon because Waluigi and Captain Falcon 100% have the same moveset, I guarantee you.
Black Shadow could actually be an Echo Fighter for, you know, Captain Falcon. Or Blood Falcon, because the full Blood Falcon costume is actually there now. Like, it's just there. I don't think his name changes to Blood Falcon, but that's Blood Falcon.
They should just fix that.
They should just change it and change the voice samples. I could go on forever about Smash, to be honest.
Oh, dude, I think honestly, we might just have to.
We might do a isolated Smash discussion to just talk more about this going forward.
Couple isolated Smash discussions.
No, honestly, we're just gonna have to just have like dedicated Smash discussions, and even like with the Smash, like the road to Smash videos, those aren't done, guys. Those aren't done. We still got tons of speculation to do.
I'm actually planning one right now.
It's the Smash hype train. It's the Smash hype train. Like, we just got on it, right? So when we got the initial reveal, we were at the station. Now we're on the train. We are officially
3 GameCube controllers.
We're on Sakurai's Wild Ride officially right now.
Welcome to the hype train, gentlemen.
I only have 2 hands. Why did I pre-order 3 GameCube controllers?
Welcome, Dream Dinosaur, to the hype train. Welcome, Nikolai. Welcome, Torax771's random place. Welcome, Nintendo Snow Plays. You guys are all on the hype train with.
If you want to see those Road to Smash videos, if you're not subscribed, please do that. Now's the time. We got some cool stuff coming out. So ripping the Smash away right now. As much as I want to just keep talking about it, we have to move on.
Choo choo.
Because we went on for a long time.
It's okay. I don't think I have much else to talk about. I've been gone for 2 weeks, but I haven't. So
yeah, I don't have a lot to talk about myself, but we will move on to the breakdown segment of the Breakdown podcast. This is where we talk about movies, TVs, video games, all that stuff that we experienced over the last week. And given that it was E3, there's actually not a lot to talk about in that sense. Let me know if the stream's doing okay, because my computer is giving me some trouble. I'll just kick things off with movies. I saw Incredibles 2 last night. Oh, my whole Discord froze. Nope, we might be dead. Can you guys hear me? Hello? Are we alive?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
the stream froze.
My system froze.
Back. Wait. No, it froze up again. Oh, no, it's back. We're good.
Oh, no, my computer is, I don't think my computer is going to make it, guys. We might have to stop for the night.
Well, let's end the stream then. If that's it.
You're frozen. Can't hear you guys, though.
You can hear us, but yeah, okay. Well, this might crash altogether, so we might have to postpone the breakdown part until next week.
And this might be the time that we kind of... I mean, we're thinking about splitting this off anyway.
Yeah, for episode 20 specifically, we are... No, this is not going to fix Stream Drop. It just keeps happening. We are planning to split this into 2 podcasts. We're going to have the Nintendo isolated podcast and then just the breakdown as its own thing. because we often find that we have so much that we want to talk about with Nintendo, but we can't realistically fit that in with everything else, and then we end up rushing through the breakdown segment of the podcast, and we don't want to do that anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to split this up into 2 shows. The Nintendo podcast will be taking the time slot of the breakdown in terms of the live broadcast, and the breakdown podcast will be streamed on another day, yet to be decided. We still have some kinks to work out with that. But as soon as we have all of that laid down and we're ready to launch, we will let you know. And the first official Nintendo podcast, we have a name, but we'll commit to it when we commit to it. It'll happen, so you can look forward to that. This week's breakdown we will add on to next week, because honestly there wasn't a ton there for us to talk about anyway. Just in general, because obviously it was E3 week. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Thanks,
also,
Nikolai.
before you wrap this up, if you guys do have anything you guys do want to talk about, I encourage you to follow us on Twitter. All of
Discord.
our and Discord, yes, but our Twitter handles right on the screen, and everything else is in the description of the video itself. If you want to get on the Discord, please get on the Discord. We're on there all the time, and if you want to discuss anything, there's voice channels, all that good stuff.
And one thing I want to plug really quick, and this, we're gonna have to tweak this a little bit, but we do have our first official patron, and with that comes the ability for you guys to suggest and vote on podcast topics. If you want in on that, you can. Was that the $1 tier for that, or is that the $5?
Let me pull this up right quick.
I don't even remember our rewards because it took a while.
I think it was the 5 tier. If I can get to the rewards.
Yeah.
$1 is you'll get early access to our videos and the ability to ask questions for the end of segment of the breakdown podcast. We'll pick a few questions per episode and answer them live on the show, and we'll credit 10 of you at the end of each and every video. $5, you'll get access to our special patron Discord channels. This includes a podcast topic suggestion channel for the breakdown. Tell us what you want us to talk about. We'll pick 3 and put up a poll for all patrons to vote on, and we'll have a dedicated patron topic show once a month, included above. That's one that's probably going to get tweaked a little bit as we might be a little more lax with that when we first start, because we'll have less patrons and less suggestions, but as we get more, then we'll kind of assume that that structure for it.
Yeah, none of this is set in stone. I mean, we're still working this out, so
we want to make it as valuable as possible.
So if you're interested in doing that and you want to support us, feel free. We would love it if you did. But if you don't, you just want to stick around and watch our videos, hey, we love that you're here. So yeah, I think with that we're going to cut it off for the night. Sorry about the kind of early cutoff for the stream, but you know, it happens. We'll probably have a few isolated discussions for a couple games. I anticipate it'll probably just end up being Smash at the end, but we'll let you know when we decide to do that. So for now, I'm gonna have to cut it off here, you guys. So